Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Captain Hook with the Captain Hook tree climbing channel. Thanks for stopping on by. Make sure you hit that like button. Hitting that like button is a great way to support this channel. Thank you very much. And please consider subscribing. So without further ado, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about this video. So first off, we start in the lift here. And we're span rigging. So a lot of what you're going to see in this video is going to have span rigging, and we're going to be span rigging some massive logs, so stay tuned for that. It can be a great video. And anyway, was really stoked, really happy to do this tree here, because first we start off in the lift, but as you see now, we're out of the bucket and we're in the canopy. SRT system, fusion tether with the rope wrench, some beeline there, and we're heading on down to the beginning of that canopy for that branch there. So we're gonna go clean it up. Yeah, and one of the biggest reasons why I'm going to be cleaning it up here is because, as you'll see later on in the video, we're going to be span rigging, right? So the rope is going to be sliding on down this side of the branch here, and we don't want anything getting caught up, and there were some instances where that did happen. So it was a good idea to go ahead and clean up that whole tree there. So here, just a little bit about the layout of the job. So right to my right, there is a vinyl fence. It's a white fence. In front of me, you'll see that right there is a light post, and from there all the utilities, they fork off, one for the neighbor and one for the house that we're working at. So we're working with a tree that's situated right in the middle of like a triangle. So if you try to imagine a triangle, we're like right in the middle of it. The outsides of that triangle are the wires, so we have to be extremely careful. And then also there's a fence right down there, a metal chain link fence, and just smaller trees underneath it as well. So we have all these targets, extremely small tolerances. We have no room for error here, and I was just really happy to do this tree because, you know, it requires so much patience, and I have tons of it. I really enjoy doing these kinds of climbs. And yeah, so here we're going to go ahead and rig the first branch. And I guess what I was just doing there was trying to see if the swing was going to be an issue, and if so, obviously I would have to take some type of precaution. But I deemed it good, and we have a great rope man. Johnny's on the ropes here, so he's really good on the rope. He'll take care of it. And there she goes. See how it turns out. And nice holding wood there. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. That was great. Got away from me there. And yeah, this job was just crazy, man. All the wires and everything. If you were to swing everything over just to that main leader where I'm tied in at and my rigging point is at, it would be too much of a swing. So that's why you're going to see me span rigging 90% of this stuff, because the span rig, it'll meet in between 2 points. So I'm gonna get a sling on the limb or the log that I'm gonna be cutting, and then I'm gonna put my rope through that sling, attach the sling to the rope, and then just terminate that rope, the rigging rope, off to the limb right underneath where I'm gonna be cutting, and you'll see that. It's maybe a little hard to see in your mind, but you'll see very shortly here talking about. And so a little fast forward here, just gonna explain this. So it came up to the top, right? And that first limb that you guys saw me, where I was cutting all the little suckers in the beginning, when I got onto this limb, that limb, I came up first, redirected myself. You'll see that I have a rigging loop there, a green rigging loop to my left, and came down, cut the limb, because I had to go far out on it, because if I just tied it from the butt and then let it sag down, I would have been a disaster. Would have been on the wires. I don't know. Lots of bad things could have happened. But anyway, did that, came back up, took care of that one limb there that you guys just saw, that fresh cut, and now I'm putting a tagline on there, and we're also going to span rig this limb, so in the same fashion that I did all the other ones. So I'm going to just cut a bigger piece. Initially I was going to cut just above where that bowline knot there was, that running bowline was, but I changed my mind, so I'm going to move it down a little bit. So there it is. We attach the rings. You could do this with a block. These are on whoopee slings, so whoopee slings are really good for this kind of a thing. If you have ultra slings, I'm pretty sure they're great as well. So I hit it there with the club, back it up with at least 2 half hitches. We're at least 1, 2 half hitches is great. 3 is a little overkill, and then from there it's just overkill. So I'm gonna, yeah, so there was an alpine there, had to take it out, because when they send up the rings, since I'm just above the rigging point there, the rings favor that side, you see. So when they're sending it up, they have to put an alpine on it, and I forgot to take the alpine out. That way they don't favor that side. I can just pull them right to myself. Anyway, that's the idea behind that alpine. Alright, so second point of contact, or I think this might be a tertiary, a third? Is it a third? Wasn't really paying attention if I had another lanyard on there already. Yeah, it did. So that second lanyard there just helps me solidify my position, kind of in the spirit of triangulating myself, and it's just a great way to do the climb, man. If you're able to triangulate yourself, you're able to sit nice and comfortably in the harness, and it just reduces any and all impediments. So So here I'm just doing a back cut, but I definitely should have done a put a you know, a little direction on it with a notch. But I don't think it was necessary because that's all I needed was just a little bit of turn to clear any branches in front of me, clear the tree right underneath it too. So that was pretty much all I needed, I guess. But anyway, definitely should try to notch, you know, a good 90% of what you do cut. It just helps it fold. And yeah, usually works out better that way. On this branch here, I didn't send down on the rope purposely because I could just cut and throw just like this. And it was also towards the back side where I didn't want anything to go. So this was like the best way. So that's taken care of. So you see there's that redirect that I spoke to you about earlier. It's just a rigging loop with a carabiner, and then you just clip on your climbing line to it. Obviously not the tail end. You're going to want to clip on the side of your line that is above your hitch. So that right there is my favorite way to hold my rigging lines on my saddle. Just throw them through the 8. And if it has ears, even better. Right, tagline. Oof, this is a big one. So this log that I'm gonna be sending here is, well, it's no joke, man. Pretty big. So at the point where I'm at there, my hands are, that's about a good 5-6 foot section already. So you're gonna see how the span rigging is actually going to be very beneficial because of how far we are from our rigging point. So the further we are away from our rigging point, we're going to have to start either adding redirects to you know, hang the pieces off of, or we can do the span rig. And the span rigging is, wow, it's so beneficial. An absolute gem. If you don't know how to use it, just start getting acquainted with it, because, you know, I'm sure there's going to be many times where you're going to, you know, you're going to think like, oh, wow, I can span rig this real quick. You know, maybe 1 or 2 pieces. Not like here where I span rig basically everything. It could be a bit time consuming, and that's kind of like a downside to it. But if you're rigging big, then the span rig is, well, it's the way to go. Not only does it give you that that reach, or not that reach, not only does it compensate for like that length in, you know, between your rigging point and where you're actually cutting from, but it also has 2 legs of rope, right? So these 2 legs of rope begin to share the load, and it might not be evenly, but they absolutely do share the load, and it just, you know, it compensates for, you know, forces that are applied to it. So rigging big with a span rigging style is definitely a good idea. There, the rope or the log where it lowers to is between where I terminated the rope and my rigging point up in the tree. So it's gonna, you know, try to favor somewhere in between there. And you'll notice that as you continue to go further and further, like for instance, as I continue to go further and further down this limb here, where the log lands is actually closer to where I'm at underneath me on the ground, as opposed to being more in the middle of my rigging point and where I terminated the rope. I hope that makes sense. Just going to shorten that up a bit. So here, I'm terminating the rope right there. Doing a cow hitch there. Backing it up, half hitch. Oh, another massive log. I think this one might have been bigger than the last one. Alrighty, so now we're transitioning right back to the lift and another span rig. Span rig / negative rigging. Oh man, wow, look at that. It's just good, man. It's really good. It's one of my favorite ways to rig. So when I first started this whole process here, I was pretty excited, but then after seeing how the logs were falling and just how the rigging system was bolstered by this method, I was just like, wow, man, this is awesome. And before this, I hadn't really span rigged, and I kind of, you know, didn't really do it. Kind of stayed away from it a little bit, to be honest. But you know, I'm here with a good crew, and they are absolutely one of the reasons why I'm even doing it, because you know, we have the machine there, I can cut big pieces, and you know, I just feel that kind of security about it. Here I'm just going to pull back that leg of rope. Cow hitch one more time. back up half hitches, 1 and 2. Alright, so this log wasn't going, and I didn't want to continue cutting into the hinge wood, so I was like, you know, I'm just gonna go up a little bit, just give it a little push, and bam, watch how this thing falls. It's gnarly, man. Really cool. Definitely one thing that I gathered from that is you want to put the sling that you're using either, well, not either, definitely below the halfway point of the piece you're cutting. So it's going to require a little bit of foresight, a little bit of forethought, but you want to think about how this is all going to fall. Yeah, guys, I know the video is coming to an end here, and just want to ask you guys, if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe, make sure that you leave a comment on your thoughts about span rigging, if you use it, if there's anything that I missed, make sure to leave it down there. But yeah, guys, until next time, y'all, have a great day, enjoy yourselves, climb high, and make safe cuts, y'all. Until then, peace out, y'all.